Salute. This is Nocturnal Thoughts, man. I'm hearing a lot of negative criticism on Gervonta Tank Davis. It's my fault because who I choose to listen to. I try not to just listen to people that I like listening to or that I agree with, should I say. I try not to listen to just people I agree with. I try to listen to people I disagree with too. And sometimes, you know what I'm saying, I can listen to somebody and it's like, damn, I disagree with this person too much to the point it was pissing me off. So I was listening to the Ringside Reporter last couple of days, Eric Lorta and the Beeb, and they thoughts on Gervonta Tank Davis. I think they just don't like PBC, and they don't like Tank, and they don't like Al Heyman and all that type of shit. And I done heard that too for years. But to me, Eric Lorta and the Beeb from the Ringside Report, their criticism on Tank is just ridiculous. Ridiculously unfair, in my opinion. Like, I remember when he fought Rolly Romero the very next day, they titled it, Tank Fails to Look Impressive Against Rolly Romero. I'm paraphrasing. And I'm like, what? Okay, whatever. Then when this little shit happened between Tank and his baby moms with the domestic violence, I mean, they just went too far with their criticism on a situation that don't nobody have all the facts on. And I'm like, okay, whatever, it is what it is. And then listening to their breakdown of this fight against Hector Garcia, it was a little bit more fair, but it still was just trying to find so much of a way to make Tank look a certain way. I mean, the Beeb just sound like he was so happy if Gervonta Tank Davis ends up spending some time behind bars for the situation with the hit and run. I mean, everybody, I'm not going to say that what he did was right because I don't condemn and I don't condone. It's just like, if he has to go do some time, he has to go do some time. You know what I'm saying? But to be so happy about him having to do time and making like, you know what I mean, it's just, to me, it's like, okay, I digress. At the end of the day, all I care about is boxing when it comes to these guys. If they mess up their life and they got to go to jail, it is their life. I don't want nobody to go to jail who don't deserve to go to jail. I hope everybody end up to be successful. But at the end of the day, all I'm really focused on is the boxing. And when it comes to the boxing, the only criticism I can see with Gervonta Tank Davis that they making is just not valid. Because their whole thing is that he not fighting nobody. And I done heard that before from other people. And I even said, like, when he went up to 140 and he fought Mario Barrios, and people was talking about, before he hadn't even fought Mario Barrios yet, this was leading up to the fight, people was asking Leonard Ellaby, and this was my thing, I didn't like Leonard Ellaby the way he was handling Gervonta Tank Davis, as far as the way he would put a spin on stuff. But as far as Gervonta Tank Davis, I had no issue with him, what he was doing inside the ring. But when he went up to 140, and they was doing interviews, and they was asking Leonard Ellaby about Josh Taylor, the way he was putting the brakes on that conversation, that to me was like, you shouldn't speak for Gervonta Tank Davis if that's the type of stuff you're gonna say. Like, oh man, who is Josh Taylor? Who is Josh Taylor? Nobody know Josh Taylor. Like, come on, man. If you're gonna go to 140 and fight Mario Barrios, then you should also be talking about fighting Regis Prograis. You should also be talking about Josh Taylor, Leonard Ellaby, not Gervonta Tank Davis. Gervonta Tank Davis, he go up there and fight one. First of all, Gervonta Tank Davis is little as hell. So for him to go up there and fight Mario Barrios wasn't impressive because Mario Barrios was knocking dudes out with one punch. And he had that real tough fight against Arkhamendov, when he got his face all busted up, but he still knocked that dude down twice. You know what I'm saying? So Mario Barrios wasn't just looking like no easy fight. Bigger and he's strong. I remember dude used to say when he was watching him get his hands wrapped, he had like the size hands of a middleweight. Mario Barrios was a big dude. So anyway, that's why he had to go up there and fight Keith Thurman, So anyway, the fighters that they say he got to fight, like Lomachenko. I like Lomachenko, but to me, Lomachenko then got beat. He got beat by Salido. He got beat by Teofimo Lopez. You know what I'm saying? The dudes that he did beat and style on, he was bigger than them most of the time, like the Axeman. You know what I'm saying? And Rigondeaux was way smaller than him. But then at the same time, the dudes that he did beat that was bigger than him, I give him credit for it. Linares, Luke Campbell, he knocked those dudes out, right? So he knocked out Linares. So Linares got knocked out by a smaller Lomachenko. Then Linares goes up and fight in the heavier weight class and really gets knocked out in like the first round. And then he comes back down and he fights Devin Haney, and he goes the distance and he hurts Devin Haney. Now, granted, he knocked down Lomachenko, but then he got knocked out. So he wobbled Devin Haney, and some people were saying he let Devin Haney off the hook for some reason. My point is this: Devin Haney, to me, his best name on his resume is Linares, and he didn't knock him out, and Lomachenko knocked him out. So how is that making Tank look bad? Because I give Devin Haney all the credit in the world, not by the guys he's fought, but by the decisions that he made in the position that he put himself in to corner and capture them belts against Kambosos, because that was just an excellent chess move. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like Kambosos was just the most dangerous fighter I ever seen in my life. I mean, he really was in the right fight at the right time in the right place when he fought Teofimo Lopez. But if you're being honest, Teofimo Lopez, he was defeated by victory. When he won against Lomachenko, he took his eyes off the damn prize. He took his heart out of it. When Teofimo Lopez won against Lomachenko, it was like the best thing and the worst thing. It was just one of those things where he lost a little bit. You can tell he lost a little bit of hunger. He lost a little bit of humility. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't able to stick to what got him there. He kind of faltered off the beaten path a little bit, which is human, but that's why he lost to George Kambosos. In my opinion, is because he did some things that took him off of the game plan, more outside of the ring. And then he just got caught with his pants down. He got caught slipping against George Kambosos. And I'm not taking anything away from George Kambosos. I think he's a great fighter, but he's not at that level where I thought he would beat Devin Haney. The reason why Devin Haney, for me, gets so much credit for beating George Kambosos is because of the conditions that the fights was under. In this man's backyard, where they wouldn't even let your dad come at first, who's your corner man. It was like they stacked all the odds against Devin Haney because that was the only way they could win, really, if they went over there and they rigged it up for him to lose. And they played it straight enough. They actually played it fair. But the thing is, any other way I couldn't see Devin Haney losing to Kambosos. The only way I could see Kambosos winning that fight is if he went in there, made it muddled up and rough enough, or just murky. If he made it murky enough to where you in your backyard, you're going to get the decision in a fight that you obviously still lost or even got edged out, or a fight that you didn't deserve to win, but they're going to give you the win because you're the champion in your backyard. Other than that, I didn't think Kambosos could beat Devin Haney. And that's my point. Devin Haney won that fight, and he did it twice in his backyard. And that's why he gets the credit, not because Kambosos is so great. So my point is this: how can you criticize Tank's resume so much in comparison to Devin Haney? I understand that Devin Haney has all the belts, but to me, his best names are still Linares, who had been dropped and beat by Lomachenko and went up a weight class and got knocked out like that. And then he got Jojo Diaz, you know what I'm saying, a smaller dude who ain't really nowhere near as dangerous as Gervonta Tank Davis. And then who else he got? I mean, he knocked out that one dude, Moran, which took everything he had in his power to knock that dude out, but it was a great highlight knockout, you know what I'm saying? And he beat Yuriorkis Gamboa, which went 12 rounds after Yuriorkis Gamboa had already been knocked out multiple times and knocked out by Tank. Other than that, I don't see nobody on Devin Haney's resume that's just so impressive. Okay, you say, well, Devin Haney, the other person, Gervonta Tank Davis just has to fight in order to be great. Is Shakur Stevenson. Well, I don't understand where's that coming from. Because I like Shakur Stevenson too. I would like to see him fight Tank. I would like to see all those guys fight. And Ryan Garcia. Even though Ryan Garcia, his resume is on the same level too. Luke Campbell had been knocked out already by Lomachenko, if I'm right. He knocked out Fortuna, right? Javier Fortuna, right? Cool. How is that so much better than what Tank done? But back to Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson really wasn't looking that great when he fought against Jeremiah Nakathila. I remember even Timothy Bradley was sitting there like, I'm agreeing with Timothy Bradley. Timothy Bradley's like, man, you got to do better against guys like this, Shakur Stevenson. You on a different level to him. And Shakur Stevenson listened, came back, and he looked good against Jamel Herring. He looked good against Jamel Herring. But still, he had already been sparring against that dude and knew that he was going to be able to do what he did. And Jamel Herring was kind of past it. He had his prime fights when he fought against the Jackal. Right? And then he looked good. Shakur Stevenson looked good against Oscar Valdez. But Oscar Valdez was coming off of a bad victory where he had the whole issue with the T, with the stuff in his system. And then he didn't look great against Robinson Conceição. So Valdez had looked great against Burchell, knocked him out. Then the little T thing came out. So he's like, how long has he been, putting that in his system? And then he didn't look that great against Robinson Conceição. So then when he goes and fights Shakur Stevenson, you just see Shakur Stevenson took all the wins out of that dude's cell and dominated him. Big boy style, right? So that's Shakur Stevenson. Then Shakur Stevenson went and fought against Robinson Conceição, the same dude that looked good against Oscar Valdez. And he looked good against Robinson Conceição, but Robinson Conceição didn't look so much better than Hector Garcia or Yoriokas Gamboa or Rolly Romero. Rolly Romero, yeah, outbox Rolly Romero, but maybe not Mario Barrios. Nothing that Robinson Conceição has done, in my opinion, makes him look so much better than Mario Barrios, in my opinion. So I'm just looking at the dude's Tank fought, the Mario Barrios and the, Rolly Romeros and the Hector Garcias, who was kind of going on this nice little run where he knocked down Chris Colbert and then got a belt against this guy. I don't know his name, but Hector Garcia looked to me a solid fighter. And then Ryan Garcia, who he's fought. So I'm just looking at who Shakur fought, who Devin fought, who Tank fought, and who Ryan fought. And I'm trying to figure out, why is Gervonta Tank Davis getting so much criticism for his resume being weak, when his resume to me looked like it's the same or better? To me, it looked better than Ryan's. And the only reason why it don't look better than Devin's is because Devin got the belts. But past that, when I'm looking at the guys he fought and their style and their power, their speed, where they was at in their career, to me, Tank resume edges out Devin Haney's resume as far as fighting against dangerous guys, in my opinion. But that's my opinion. Y'all let me know y'all opinion in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Salute, thumbs up, etc., so on and so forth. This is Nocturnal Thoughts, man. Appreciate y'all time. Sub to the channel. I'm out. Bow.